Good afternoon. Welcome to the midweek sports review on EzeSportsTV. I remain your humble host Harrison, and of course today I have Kesta with me to talk sports as usual. Kesta, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Harrison.
Okay, we'll be going straight to the UEFA Champions League, where a lot of activities are happening, and already a lot of balls coming in from that competition. A lot of things happening, a lot of things people never predicted would happen. Of course, last week we were here to talk about the games between, of course, Villarreal versus Bayern Munich, and of course that of Chelsea against Real Madrid, and of course we talked about Manchester City at home to Atletico Madrid, and of course Liverpool going away right there in Portugal. It ended 3-1 win for Liverpool against Benfica. Liverpool, Manchester City winning 1-0 against Atletico Madrid. Chelsea losing 1-3 at home to Real Madrid, and of course Villarreal right there in Spain winning 1-0 against FC Bayern Munich. Of course, over last night, the completion of the second leg took place. The games between Bayern Munich, of course, at home this time around, to Villarreal, it ended 1-1 in favor. Of course, that 1-1 means Villarreal moving through to the semi-finals. Over the two legs, Villarreal having just two shots on target, which was enough to see them make it to the semi-final for the second time in their history, and of course FC Bayern Munich not making it to the semi-finals. And we had Chelsea playing a beautiful football last night, what looks like one of their best performances as far as this century is concerned. We saw Chelsea coming all out against Real Madrid right there at the Santiago Bernabeu. But of course, at 3-0, Chelsea was already destined to qualify and move to the next round. But that particular pass from Luka Modric and of course that goal from Rodrigo means the game was at level on 4-4 on aggregate. But of course, in the extra time, Karim Benzema and Vinicius combining to take Real Madrid into the next round. Tonight we'll be having games against Liverpool at the Anfield. Liverpool will be hosting Benfica at the back of them, winning 1-0 right there in Portugal. And of course, Manchester City will be traveling to the Madrid, of course, to play Atletico Madrid, with a 1-0 win in the first leg. Kesta, you've seen how all the fixtures in the Champions League have turned out so far. A lot of surprises here and there. Villarreal doing what nobody actually expected or believed that they would, be able to do. And of course, Chelsea pulling out what looks like the biggest shock. Though at the end of the day, they weren't able to complete that. But we saw the fighting spirit from Chelsea. We saw how good they played on the day. Even everybody come out to say all respect to Chelsea. Regardless of them not making it to the semis. I mean, these guys came out to play, and we saw how wonderful they've played. I mean, Kesta, you've been here. You've seen how it has all happened. Of course, the games that we've seen completed and the games that are yet to be completed. I would like you to just sum it all up and tell me all the buzz. Of course, you watched that game last night. The first leg, you made a prediction that Chelsea was going to win 2-1, but then there were a lot of errors from the players, especially Mendy, causing Chelsea to lose that 1-3-1 right there at the bridge. Of course, coming in last night to win 3-2 was not enough to take them to the next round. What do you have to say?
A very match-watching fixture it is. Real Madrid against Chelsea. In the past, Chelsea always had an upper hand in this particular fixture. Last season, it was the same team playing together, and Chelsea, seeing up Real Madrid to progress in the competition after winning and at home, and of course getting a draw at the Santiago Bernabeu. Now this season, Real Madrid have looked like a better team, considering how they have played this season so far. Karim Benzema, unplayable player, the top scorer in La Liga. Real Madrid topping the table as well with a very wide margin right there in Spain. Of course, against a Chelsea side that have not been consistent in the season, it's only going to be a difficult game for Chelsea. But I made that prediction. I know how Chelsea have always played that way at home in this competition. Of course, against the Real Madrid side, I thought they knew that they were going to that they need to be strong at home to stand a chance of progressing. But it was a very beautiful day for Real Madrid at the bridge in the first leg. A couple of errors here and there, as you rightly said. Mendy, did what he's not used to doing. With that error that gave Benzema the chance to complete a hat-trick in Stamford Bridge. Of course, giving Real Madrid a very strong boost to progress in this tie. It was a 3-1 win for them. And then coming back yesterday in the second leg, right there in Spain. I mean, Chelsea surprised a lot of people, as you rightly mentioned, the way they approached the game from the first way. So taking a 3 lead in that game, a result that would have seen them progress if it had ended that way. But for Modric, look at Modric brilliancy, with that pass for Rodrigo, first touch after coming in as a sub, getting that goal that saw it 4-4 in aggregate on full time before the extra time. Of course, Benzema did what he has been doing with Vini, combining to score the second goal for them. Yeah, and then it was the second goal for Real Madrid on the night. Making sure the game ended 3-2. A win for Chelsea, but 5-4 a win for Real Madrid on aggregate. It was a very wonderful game. A lot of Chelsea fans we are disappointed that they didn't make it to the next round, but for the performance of the team, a lot of people have said, man, we are proud of this team. We never expect nobody gave them a chance to turn this around, even though they have done this in the past. They have been there. They have seen it. This kind of result being overturned in the past against Napoli, but against the Real Madrid side was always going to be difficult, and especially playing away in the second leg. But they did it. They almost did it, as a matter of fact. Playing a very wonderful game. You saw the brilliance of the coach, the team selection he made. Replacing Rhys James with. Replacing Christensen with Rhys James and limiting the performance of Vini. Of course, he couldn't cause so much problem for Chelsea on the night. And so much brilliance on the Chelsea side. Mason Mount, everybody seems to do so well where they play. Loftus-Cheek played so well on the night. Of course, Timo Werner getting a goal as well for himself. It was a good performance for Chelsea, but a big congratulations for Real Madrid for making it through. They deserve to be where they are right now.
Okay, Kesta, do you think Chelsea was hard done on that particular goal that was disallowed? We've seen similar goals, being approved as far as the UEFA Champions League is concerned. To me personally, I don't think that was a handball, and I don't think that was handball enough, for the goal to be disallowed. But for whatever reasons, the referee and the VAR, cancelled that goal and ruled it out. Do you think Chelsea were hard done on that particular decisions, or do you think the decisions from the VAR and the referee was right?
I think it was a difficult night for Chelsea in that aspect. We are hard done, I would say. Of course, you said it. There have been some situations like that where the goal is being given. The hand was very close to his body, and it was a slight touch on the hand, but the hand was in a very close to his body. It wasn't as if it's a stretched hand. And I wonder why the coach, the referee, didn't take enough time to look at it himself on the VAR monitor to determine the outcome of that decision. Well, it's just an unfortunate situation for Chelsea. It could have been anybody. I don't think it was a predetermined decision to work against any team or that. We have seen so many teams being at the receiving end in bad decision by the referees and the VAR. So it was just one of those nights for Chelsea. But I think it was a good goal that was ruled out. And at the end of the day, we can talk about it because it affected the outcome of the game. If that goal had stood, it would have been a straight win for Chelsea in full time. But it was just one of those days. Of course, you remember the game between Liverpool in the League Cup against Chelsea as well. You can say that they have been unlucky in terms of decisions by the VAR in key moments this season. But it's just one of those nights for them. But we can't take away anything from Real Madrid, a team that have played so well for themselves this season so far. Benzema being a player that we've seen for who he truly is. A legend of the game already, scoring a goal for fun. Getting that hat-trick away at Stamford Bridge was where Real Madrid won that game. So you can't take anything away from them. They deserve to be where they are. But I think we can't stop talking about how Chelsea played on the night, and a bit of bad luck as well from the decision, of course. Of course, Villarreal Bayern Munich was the surprise of the day. I gave a Bayern Munich, I predicted Bayern to win the first leg by 3-0 right there in Spain. Unfortunately for me, for Bayern Munich, they lost 1-0 with Villarreal only shot on target in that particular match. And coming back to Germany, I thought it presented Bayern an opportunity to overturn the result. I thought they had a chance to win Villarreal convincingly, because this Villarreal we're talking about, of course, this Bayern Munich, one of the favorites to win this trophy. And unfortunately for Bayern as well, they managed to come back to the tie after Lewandowski squeezing a goal for them in the second half, of course. But Villarreal, we are never going to give up, and it took them I think 87th minute, Chukwueze, with the counter attack, getting the equalizer on the night. Of course, a 2-1 win on aggregate for them. Kudos to Villarreal, a team that have shown that they like playing in difficult games like this, proven in the past. They are Europa League champions themselves, of course, so deserve to be where they are. Of course, kudos to them. Una Emery done wonderful with the team.
Okay, Kesta, let's talk briefly about tonight's game between Manchester City right there in Spain against Atletico Madrid, and of course Liverpool at the Anfield playing Benfica tonight. Liverpool already 3-1 in the first leg. I mean, it means Benfica will be scoring 2 goals unreplied at the Anfield to even stand a chance of taking the game to the extra time. And of course, Manchester City with 1-0 victory, very slim victory against an experienced side in this particular competition in Atletico Madrid. How do you think these games will go? Do you think Atletico Madrid will come all out to play Manchester City, knowing that at this point they have nothing to lose? I mean, let's go all out, give all our best, just like Jesse did last night, to see what we can get out of this night, out of this game. And again, I want you to be dropping your predictions for these 2 games as you analyze the game.
Yeah, Atletico Madrid knows that they can't just come all out against a Manchester City side, a team that like dominating possession, holding the ball, playing so well, passing the ball very quickly, and all that. They will always stick to their game plan of trying to content the team, try to hit them on counter and refusing to concede. And I think that will be the game plan against a Manchester City side. But it's always going to be a difficult night for both teams. Manchester City already have the advantage after winning the first leg right there at the Etihad Stadium. They'll be coming into this future knowing that they just need to stop Atletico from scoring to progress into the next stage of competition. So it's going to be a difficult game for both sides. But somehow I see Manchester City taking it there because they're a team that we know that just stopping Atletico from winning gives them what they need and just that to progress to the semi-final. Of course, Liverpool is a team that is already 1 feet into the semi-final. We've analysed their game against Benfica. They're a better side. They have gone to Portugal to do the job. Coming back to England will always be to protect what they have already started. It kind of going to look like the Chelsea game, but of course, Benfica, I don't think they can be a Chelsea side. Against a Liverpool side, one of the best team of the season in Europe so far, it's going to be difficult for them. So I see Liverpool also winning that one to progress into the semi-final. Predictions on the night, I mean, between the game between Liverpool and Benfica, of course, it's going to be another win for Liverpool playing at home against Benfica. This time, I might not see too many goals. Of course, Liverpool, we have their eye on the weekend game. In other competition, they have the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester, which is a very important game for them in pursuit of the quadruple. So they know that they have already done part of the job in Portugal. Of course, they have the Arsenal, they have the depth of players to execute this game and also get a favorable result for themselves. So a 2-1 win for Liverpool at Anfield against Benfica. Of course, the game between Manchester City and Atletico. Manchester City also in the same position with Liverpool. They're going to be facing Liverpool in the semi-final of the FA Cup at the weekend. So, but they have this match to tackle first. I know that Pep Guardiola will always prefer to make it to the semi-final of the Champions League. Not minding what will happen at the weekend against Liverpool. So Manchester City will be very serious with this game. It's not yet a concluded fixture. 1-0 way, anything can happen. So they will be coming out against Manchester City. I mean against Atletico Madrid right there in Spain to claim another 2-1 win for themselves. That's my prediction.
All right, Kesta predicting 2-1 win victory for Manchester City, and of course, that's for Liverpool. Before we call it a wrap on the show, Kesta, let's quickly touch the activities that happened over the weekend in English Premier League. Of course, we had that big game, what seems to be the biggest game as far as this season is concerned in the world of football, Liverpool versus Manchester City. It was a beautiful game over the weekend. It ended 2-2 right there at the Etihad Stadium. Liverpool was brilliant on the day. Manchester City, on the other hand, was brilliant on the day. Lots of missed chances. But on that day, we saw quality versus quality. We saw good game. This is the kind of things we live for. This is the kind of things we come into the seasons for. And of course, we saw other games as well, where Arsenal lost 1-2 at the Emirates, losing to Brighton and Hove Albion. And of course, Chelsea winning 6-0 right there in Southampton, making that statement victory. And of course, Manchester United going away to Everton to lose 1-0 against a team that hasn't actually won a game in 9 outings. And of course, West Ham, another team who's trying to get into the top four, losing 2-0 away to Brentford. And of course, Tottenham playing later, of course, consolidating on all these failures, to bounce 4-0 and, getting themselves 3 points ahead of Arsenal and cementing their spot on the top four. Do you think Arsenal still have what it takes to challenge Tottenham Hotspur in the top four? And of course, Manchester United is still right there. I'm not writing them off. Do you think it's a done season for them, or do you think they still stand a chance? And of course, Liverpool, Manchester City, the 1 point lead continues. Nobody was able to win over the weekend. We still watch forward to see what happens.
Yeah, as we are talking about the competition between Manchester City and Liverpool in terms of who wins the league, we're also looking at the challenge and the fight for the top four. Of course, Tottenham seems to be in a very better position right now, the way they have played so far. 4-0 win against Aston Villa last weekend was a very brilliant result for them. I mean, Antonio Conte have turned this around for his Tottenham side. You can see how confident they are approaching games. Harry Kane, I mean, a player that can always do anything you ask him to do, provides assists for teammates, scores goal for himself. Song, a player that's in the form of his life, got a hat-trick on the weekend. Kulusevski himself getting a goal. The players have come in the January transfer window alongside Bentancur. They have changed the face of this team that seems to be unplayable. Everybody, from the wing backs, upgrading themselves, their game, and playing kind of Antonio Conte game. And of course, I think their closest challenge for that top four place is Arsenal. Arsenal is still just 3 points behind Tottenham, of course, with that one game in hand. So they seems to be the closest team to challenge Tottenham for the top four. Chelsea, with the 6-0 win, did themselves a lot of good to cementing themselves in that top position. Of course, it's still not Uhuru for any side right now, but I think Chelsea is in a very good position to focus on making sure they stay in that Champions League places. So Manchester United, with the loss at Everton, have done themselves so many bad in losing that game. I think they are 6 points behind Tottenham right now, and from their position, it's going to be difficult for them to close that gap. Considering their form, of course, and how Tottenham is playing right now. So we're having a very beautiful season so far. The fight for the top four. Of course, you can't stop talking about the fight for the trophy itself. Manchester City against Liverpool at the Etihad on the weekend lives up to expectation. Both teams matching themselves, man to man, head to head, and all that. A 2-2, just as it was in the first leg at Anfield last year. 2-2 draw. Make sure that everything stays as it is on the top of the log. Manchester City on top, just with 1 point ahead of Liverpool. Of course, anything can still happen. Still 7 games to go. You know that it's still a very open league as far as I'm concerned. At a point, it was more than 10 points lead for Manchester City on top of the league, but somehow Liverpool was able to close down the gap, and of course, and have left it at 1 point. And at 1 point, it's still very much open for anything to happen. So we are enjoying the way the season is going so far, and we can't just wait to see how it ends at the end of the day.
All right, Kesta, thank you so much. This is still the midweek sports review. Of course, we'll be here to bring you all the latest happening. We will be here to keep you updated if Everton will be escaping the relegation drop, or if they'll be making the drop at the end of the season. We will be here also to let you know what will happen at the end of the season, if it will be Liverpool or if it's going to be Manchester City. We've seen how Kulusevski and of course Bentancur have come into the Tottenham side, just 2 players, changing the fortune of the team. It is still between Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal and Manchester United for the 4th place position. Chelsea winning 6-0 right there to cement their 3rd place position. There's a whole lot of things to look forward to as far as the English Premier League is concerned, and the midweek sports review is always here to bring you all the happenings as far as the English Premier League and of course the local Nigerian Professional Football League and of course the Champions League is concerned. It's always nice and special to do this with you, Kesta. Thank you so much for coming to the show today.
Thank you very much, Harrison.
And of course, for the man behind the cameras, Ralph, please thank you so much for always making sure that the fans are there to watch us every Wednesday talk midweek sports review. I still remain your host, Harrison. I will be here next week to talk sports again on the midweek sports review. Continue to keep it there with us. God bless you as you continue to do that. Thank you and have a wonderful day.